What's good with y'all, man? We back with some more Madden motivational. I don't know. I'm gonna call this joint this whole series, right? But I was looking for something in the catalog. What a collector series. I'm trying to see the prices so I can make that set and get that token. Here we go for the drip series. Drip too hard, don't stand too close. You don't fuck around, yeah. Let me stop. Yeah. Alright, so that's lamb. Now we had little lamb. So hold on. I'm gonna get to the story time or the motivational stuff. And I'm trying to see what am I looking at real quick. And that count is still pretty high. What in the world's going on? So I probably wait. I'll probably wait until like season 7 to knock the drip set out. Mainly because, well, two reasons. The prices are still kind of like 374, you know. And then the LTDs that you could get from the pack, none of them fit my theme team. Pats slash Niners. Um, I'm thinking about getting the Ravens back in the band, but yeah, no one fits the vibe. You feel me? I know Fitzpatrick is a team whore. He played for like damn near half the league. This man has no shame in his game. But yeah, right. So what I want to talk about today is knowing knowing your self worth and knowing what you will and will not do, and standing on what you believe in. Stand on your 10 toes for what you believe in. It's gonna work out for you, right? So one of my recent jobs, right? I'm not gonna say the name of the company, right? But one of my recent jobs, I ended up quitting from that job, right? Mainly because I wasn't feeling safe there. Not in terms of like another employee was threatening me. No, safety as in terms of like as a driver. Like I didn't feel like the company had my best interest at heart, right? And by that what I mean by that is this. Um, so I was training, and one of the get a tackle took place. I bet, and one of the drivers he had quit. During my first day, I mean riding along. So at first, you're with HR, you're getting your login credentials, um, you know, getting uniforms, taking tests on computers, things of that nature, right? Cool. So now we get to my first day, with me like driving along with the guy, and that was his last day. He put in his 2 weeks, to go do his own thing, open up his own, food truck style, which I hope is going good. I I talked to him recently. He says it's going real good. So shout out to him. Big shout out to you, bro. Right? And so it was his last day um on the job, and he was showing me around, giving like, a training, showing me like what I got to do, what to drive, things of that nature, right? And so I'm under the impression that, oh well, he's quitting. This is his last day. I'm taking over his route, right? It only makes sense. So now, fast forward the next 2 weeks, I was going to other locations that wasn't on his route, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why am I being shown, like other locations or other areas, other places that these guys deliver to when I should just learn how to do, the guy's route. Well, the person just quit. I should learn how to do his route, so I could just take over and just know where I'm going, have a routine, you know all the tricks and tips, know all the ins and outs, how to park with the park, um, how to get there, you know, where the way stations are at, where the gas stations are at, you know, and just have, that map and that rhythm already in place. That way, when it's time to start driving by myself, I'm super Gucci. But that wasn't the case. They had me with other people going to other locations, and it didn't really feel like proper training. If I'm being honest with you, like I didn't really feel like I was being, properly, adjusted to the system and whatnot. And normally, from my previous, driving experiences, as a commercial driver, right? Um, Other jobs they would have you train with with someone for about a month, pass for 100 yards in the third quarter. Damn, quick two passes in the fourth place. Yeah, they would have you train for about a month, with someone to get you, make sure that you feel comfortable, you know, driving, parking, loading, unloading, right? Here it was only like 2 weeks. One week you ride with somebody, the second week then you get to drive with somebody. Like you're driving now, the person's riding around with you, and after that, they was gonna have me just thrown into the fire. Like, all right, good luck. Which was crazy to me. It's like I have no knowledge of the area. I'm not familiar with the area. You just throw me to the wolves. It was insane, right? So I have no idea why they operate like that. So a funny thing too is this as well. This little nugget right here, and apparently, because so my license is A class license, so I could drive A class vehicles that's way up to 80,000 pounds or the same 5,000 pounds, right? Combination vehicles, tractor trailer, right? I could drive tankers, hazmats, all that stuff, right? Um, and I could drive B class vehicles, like anything under A class, anything below A class, I I can drive it, right? So now, right, the B class drivers in the depot, not to pocket wash, but they're making more money than the A class drivers, which I found out, and I was confused. Like, wait, what? Like, how? Not trying to knock them, but it's like, how they only have a B class license, but I have an A class, and then I'm not getting paid nowhere near as much as them. Like that had me just baffled, and that it had give a bad taste in my mouth as well. It's like, dog, like it kind of ruined the taste. Like in my mouth for the job is like, dog, like what are we doing? Like I went to school for a month to get this. B class. I believe B class. I think it's only like 1 week of school to get a B class license because it's fairly easy to drive B class, right? I'm not trying to knock them at all. I'm not at all, like because I came from B class. Like I respect that shit. I respect it, But I'm just giving you the facts. You feel me? Um, A is definitely a lot harder to drive versus B class because this is a lot you got to deal with. Um, your kingpin, sliding tandem rail, your locking jaw, make sure everything is good, everything is in place. Then you have that long tail behind you when you turn. Make sure you have to turn wide enough that way you don't hit anything as you're turning or clip anything. So it's a lot more to deal with, in a tractor trailer versus a B class vehicle. But so yeah, point is, I'm I felt offended. I felt offended. Like that's actually crazy to me, right? So I ended up going into work one of the days. I'm like, yo, like, I want to know if it's possible that I want to transfer departments. You know, I want to drive a B class instead of an A. I want to change my shifts in the morning because I was working the grave shift. Start at 5 p.m. and I wasn't getting home until around like 4 a.m. So that's why you guys haven't been seeing me stream, at night. You wasn't seeing that for a good little while. I wasn't seeing me at night for a very long time, maybe like about 2 weeks. So I was at work. That's why. So yeah, I was doing that from 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. So get home tired naturally, just knock out, just knock out. So I'm like, yeah, I want to change shifts. I want to go to the morning because I believe they started at I think at 4 a.m. and they get done by like 3 p.m. something like that. To me that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Like start at 4 or 6, whatever time it is, and then depending on how fast you work, that determines what time you get done. Now, if you know your route, you're not dilly dallying, then you control your time. You manage your time properly, you'll probably get done before 3. Once you master your route, you know what's going on. So I'm like, yo, I want to change shifts. I want to do B class work. He told me no. He told me no and asked why. And I told him why. I said, I feel like I'm not receiving the proper training, and I felt the challenge. What the hell? But yeah, I told him that I scored complete 2 passes in 4 plays. Okay. Um. Yeah, I told him I did not feel like I'm getting the proper training, and I told him that you know I I don't feel safe. To be on my own because they wanted me to be on my own. That following Sunday, because someone was going on vacation for about 3 days at the job. So I was supposed to what was it? I was supposed to meet the driver trainer Thursday in the morning, right? So I would have had to leave work early Wednesday night, probably like 7 p.m. Leave Wednesday 7 p.m. So I could, get off in time to have my 10-hour reset, so I could be there in the morning by like eight a.m. Whoa, and be with the trainer. And then Friday would have been my test with the trainer on the road to make sure that I can properly drive said vehicle. Then Saturday I would have been off, and then Sunday I would have been on my own, in a territory that I'm not familiar with, and you know, for safety reasons, I wasn't with it. It's like, bro, I'm not from here. I'm new to Florida. I don't know the territory. I don't know the route. You know, like this is a very serious vehicle. You know, like one mishap and your life and the life of others could change in an instant. Whether it be a casualty, injury, um, vehicular damage, you know, so a property damage. So I'm like, I'm not trying to be, a hazard on the road and put myself in harm's way or someone else in harm's way, like for safety reasons. Like I'm not ready to be, out there on my own just yet, So I want to go to B class and drive box trucks. But I've been doing that for about 6 years now, driving box trucks. Like I'd rather do that, for the time being until you know I get proper training. Come back to A class, you know, and then we could do that. But as of right now, I'm not, I'm not comfortable. And the manager was not trying to hear that. He was not trying to hear any of that. Gave me an ultimatum. He said, "Listen, you should have said that from before." I'm like, the way you guys have been training me, like, what do you expect my confidence to be like right now? I'm not getting adequate training. I'm all over the place. I'm not on. I'm not on. I almost threw a pick. That's crazy. Like, I'm not constantly on the route that you guys want me to cover. Now, if I was constantly on that route, I would have been covering, you know, for those 2 weeks. Then it's a different conversation at this point, because you're on that route for 2 weeks. Like you've seen it for 2 weeks straight. You know, I feel like that's good enough. Like, cause think about it, you're seeing the same area, same location. Like you're doing the same backing maneuvers. You know, for about 2 weeks straight. You know where to go. You know all the turns. Blah blah blah. Right. But the fact that I'm all over the place. That one day I'm over here. This day I'm over there. That day I'm over here. It's like there's no real rhythm or consistency. And now I'm going to this area that I'm not familiar with. It's I'm a liability. Did I pass this time? Ah, there we go. Yeah, I'm a liability. I'm a liability, and I'm an accident waiting to happen. You know, and he didn't want to understand that, and yet he tried to spin it and make it seem it was as if it was my fault. Like, oh well, you should have known that. You should have told me earlier. But it's like, dog, you guys are having me all over the place, and you're the one that's having me all over the place as the manager. You're telling me, yeah, go with him. Yeah, now go with him. Now go. It's nothing consistent. So give me an ultimatum. He said you can either drive on Sunday, or I'm gonna cut you loose. I said there's no other way I could go to the day shift and drive a B class vehicle. There's no other way that we could keep me in this company just doing something different. He said nope, and that's when I knew, like, yo, like they really don't care. They really don't care about you. You know, like your safety or well being, or how you feel. To them you're just expendable, disposable, and whatever happens to you happens to you. You know, they really could care less, and it's fucked up. It is fucked up. But at the same time, you have to know, hey, don't let companies or anyone take advantage of you and try to jerk you around and try to pressure you or strong arm you into doing something that you're not comfortable or okay with doing. Because God forbid I would have, felt pressured and said, damn, oh, okay, I'll do it. Who knows what would have happened? You know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I get into an accident. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Hold on. Yeah, like stuff like that. Like, like who knows? Maybe I'm off of handcuffs. Maybe someone passes away because the they get hit by accident. So just know what you will not, know what you will and won't do. Know what you will and you won't do, and stand on that. So at the end of the day, you always have a choice. You're always gonna have a choice, you know, and you have to choose properly and wisely. Because jobs will come and go. You know, you only get one life. You only get one life. You don't want to risk your freedom on it. You don't want to risk your well-being or someone else's. So remember, just stand your ground, man. It's all right. Jobs come and go. Jobs come and go. Life doesn't come like life. You only get one, man. Get on the job, and I'm sure for that company they'll hire someone tomorrow or that same day. But maybe replaceable to a job, but your family and your friends can't replace you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it on that. That being said, y'all be easy, y'all be safe. So it's God bless. Catch y'all next vid. I'ma holla at y'all.